Okay, I'm going to show some of y'all how to cook it up here in the kitchen. I am going to make some turkey broth because I didn't make any for Thanksgiving. So what I've done is I only had a tiny bit of this chicken broth stuff left, so I've poured that in my pot, cut up some celery, some onion, and some carrots, and I threw that in there. And then I have a whole bunch of leftover turkey, and I'm going to throw that in there, and then I'm going to let that cook for a while. Okay, so now I've added the turkey to the pot that has the celery and the carrots and the onion that I had thrown in there. And then I have, this is probably about 4 or 5 cups of water, and I'm going to add that to the turkey. And that leftover chicken broth, I'm going to add a little more water. So come over here and fill this up a little bit. And add some more water to it. And then I'm going to cover that with the lid and let that cook for a while. Alright. Finishing what I started. Need to turn my fire down. My fire's up too high. My butter's getting too brown. That is a little bit of turkey on the bottom there. That's not the butter. But you never want your butter up, your stove up too high when you got butter in your skillet because it'll burn. I'm going to add these fresh vegetables to the butter and let it simmer. And I meant to say saute, so I'm going to let those saute a little, get a little soft here, and a little brown. Then I will add some flour and some salt and some pepper. I don't use a lot of salt. My husband watches his salt intake, so I'll probably just use pepper and no salt. We do use a lot of Mrs. Dash seasoning in our household because it is salt-free. We love that. Thank you, Mrs. Dash. So I will get back with y'all in a few minutes and show you where we are. Alright, my onions and my celery are still cooking just a little bit. I'm going to let that cook a little bit more. And then I will add 1/4 cup of flour. And I will add some Parmesan or Reggiano into there as well. And I'm going to make a roux with that. And I will use my chicken stock that we did earlier to pour in there while I'm cooking that. And I'm sorry if it's a little the camera's a little making you seasick because I'm doing this by hand, but my kitchen's a mess, so I apologize. But I've got some of the broth from the leftover turkey and stuff that I did earlier, so. Okay, everything is coming together. So this is almost like at a gravy consistency. This was probably about 4 to 5 cups of turkey stock that I had made earlier. I sauteed my onion and my celery in 1 stick of butter. Then I added that 1/4 cup of flour, and I have my whisk, and I stirred it, and I added my broth, and I added maybe a 1/2 stick of butter as well to that, and I added a little bit of Parmesan Reggiano, probably a couple of tablespoons of that. I don't really measure anything. I kind of throw stuff together and cook as I go and pray for the best. Okay, now I've added 3 cups of frozen mixed vegetables to my roux that I just made. So I'm going to let that cook a little bit more. And then if it gets too thick, I already used all of my chicken stock. So if that starts to get too thick, then I can add, I do have some chicken broth out in the garage, so I can add that to it. Then I'm going to cut up all my turkey and I will add the turkey to this, and I will be back. Okay, here is the turkey pot pie. I always use Pillsbury pie crust. So what I did is like rolled it out and then cut it to fit my pan that I put my filling in. So usually what I have to do is like cut the ends off, and then the ends go here and there, or where I need it, to where it fits the whole pan. And now I'm going to put the top crust on, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so there's the top crust. See how I just like cut the ends off, you know, the sides, the round point, put it in there, and then I put those pieces, you know, down at the bottom to fit. It's not perfect by all means, but there's the turkey pot pie. You can always, when you're making turkey pot pie, you can always add as many vegetables as you want, as much turkey as you want, and make it your roux as thick as you want or as thin as you want. If you want it, you don't want it too thick and you've gotten it too thick, just add more turkey stock or, you know, butter. Alright. Okay, well, we cut into this as soon as it was done. It took my crust a while to get done in my oven. My oven temperature is a little off, so things take longer to cook in my oven than they would in a conventional oven. Pot pie turned out wonderful, nice. The only thing I would have done different was make it a little more creamier. Since it had to cook a little bit longer in my oven, it seemed to cook the creamy out, so it was kind of a little dry, but it's delicious. So next time I would just make it a little bit creamier, but it turned out really great, as you guys can see. It hasn't stopped anybody from eating it. Alright, talk to y'all later.